You are Locked On Rockets Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, it might not have been the prettiest of nights for the Houston Rockets tonight. They started off in a very ugly basketball game, but this team needed a win against one of the worst teams in the NBA. The Rockets entered this one tonight without a win on the road since the month of January. Hard to believe that this team has been kind of floundering around in the last month or so. But tonight, they take care of their business and do what they need to do against a bad New Orleans Pelicans team and find their way to a 109-107 victory over that New Orleans squad. Hello and welcome tonight to the Locked On Rockets Postcast. I am your host, Michael Connor. Appreciate those of you that are watching us live or later on. We always appreciate that here on the Locked On Sports Houston YouTube page. If you're listening on the Locked On Rockets audio feed, also appreciate you there. Make sure that you go subscribe to the Locked On Sports Houston page to catch all of our content right here every time that the Rockets get wrapped up with what is hopefully a victory. Tonight they get the victory, which is, important. We'll start things off with,
this is what you'll be talking about.
Easiest thing that you're going to be talking about from this one is going to end up being the three guys in the starting lineup that really did their thing. But more than anybody else, it's another game where Amin Thompson shows his worth. We've had a lot this season in terms of what we've talked about with Amin Thompson and he's an ascending player. He is a budding star in this league. I am not one of these people that loves to throw around the word star and superstar because I think it is just silly with how the NBA is covered, where we call everybody a star. The Pelican star, Sun star, Nugget star, this team star. But this is a player that is on his way to actually being a star. For as liberal as we are in throwing around the word star in this league, there's not that many. There really isn't. There's a lot of great players. There's a difference between a great player and a star or a superstar. This is a guy that has that kind of potential. Of course, the one thing that's always going to hold him back is the shooting. We know that. But this guy's a freak. Athletically, this guy is a freak in terms of effort. His ability defensively is just downright silly. And his ability to get buckets for a guy that can't shoot is downright impressive. 21 points, 11 rebounds tonight, 2 assists. Did not have any steals tonight. I was just looking for a steal column here. Did not have any steals tonight, but had, again, a double-double, 10 of 13 from the field. Only took the 1-3, missed it. Did leave 3 points on the free throw line as well. But again, this is a guy that we are watching every night turn into one of those guys. And it's fun. For as bad as they have been, go look at what's happened with this Rockets team now. We can live in reality. They've been in a point where they've been a little disappointing, right? I mean, look, they lost 3 games in a row, Sacramento, Oklahoma City, and the Pacers. And they have to find a way. I've talked about this for quite some time. They have to find a way to take care of their business against teams that they're supposed to beat. And this was one of those games tonight. And they did that. So that's credit to them. But I think the thing, again, that you're going to be walking out of this game more than anything saying, hey, this is what we're talking about here tonight, is the work of Amin Thompson. Doing it once again, because he has been, look, as important as anybody on this team is. Think about where this team would be if he did not ascend to this season. They'd be in a world of hurt. They still can't get completely healthy. At some point, it'd be nice if they had that. You still got, excuse me, Fred VanVleet is out. They're toying with everything and how they work this lineup. But as long as they have Amin Thompson out there playing 35-plus minutes a game, you know that you're going to get a lot of the good stuff out of him that's going to help lead you to victories. And it kind of sets the tone defensively. I mean, there's a lot of great defensive players in this team. And when this team is clicking at their best, they're playing great defense, right? We all know that. Defensive effort tonight, a lot better. You took a bad team over there in New Orleans and you made them play like a bad team offensively. They score less than 100 points. And in today's NBA, you're scoring less than 100. You're not very good. I think all of it kind of starts with the tone that Amin Thompson sets defensively for this basketball team and the things that he can do. It's not just him, it's going to be the likes of Dylan Brooks, who I think has had an underrated or an under the radar, really solid season that we haven't talked a ton about. Tari Eason is one of those guys that sets the tone defensively. He was really good tonight, by the way, as well. Jabari Smith, of course, is a defensive whiz. Even off the bench, Steven Adams is a really good, solid piece. And I don't want to down Alpi at all. Alpi's improvement this season has been a big part of the reason why the Rockets have improved this season. Now, again, this is a team that a few weeks ago, I didn't think they'd be at this point. They're 38-25, which is great. They're going to end up, looking at the rest of this schedule, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 games left in the regular season. Sorry, I didn't want to do the math off the top of my head. Be easier to just count it. 19 games left. They have to find a way to win at least 10 of those. Okay, so they win 10. That's 10-9. That's overall not very good basketball. But if you do that, that guarantees you 48 wins in the season. Okay, 48 wins probably puts you, at worst, top 5 in the West. But if you just add 2 wins to that and go 12-7, which is very doable for this basketball team, you're talking about a 50-win season. That's where they have to get to. That's the benchmark at this point, I think. They have to find a way to 50 wins. Can they do that? I don't know. I have not been all that encouraged recently with how they've played. That doesn't mean I'm down on them for the season. I'm not going to call the season a disappointment. I think that they raised the bar really, really high, really, really early because they exceeded expectations that a lot of people, including myself, had for them this season. And when that happened, they will lead you to a bit of disappointment if they play poorly in periods like they have in recent days. But all is not lost. There's still a lot to play for. And again, they have games. You look at that schedule coming up between now and the 13th of April. They've got New Orleans again Saturday night. They've got a wounded Orlando team on Monday of next week. They got a Phoenix team that is beyond beatable. Play Dallas. Guess what? They're beatable. Chicago, way beatable. Philadelphia, way beatable. Orlando, way beatable. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight games against teams that you look at and you say, you know what? For sure, they should win that game. And then you go to the game right after that. Hey, look, they're playing Miami. Yeah, it's in Miami. You're always worried about those games. Miami hasn't been good this season. They're under 500. They have a very favorable schedule the rest of the way. I got just to the next 8 games. They also have a couple of games against Utah. I know that they lost Utah. They got another game against Phoenix. They do play the Lakers twice. They do play the Clippers once. They do play the Golden State Warriors once. They do play the Denver Nuggets twice. Oh, and Atlanta. But overall, I'm looking for those 12 wins. A lot of them have to come over the next 2.5 weeks or whatever it is. 2 weeks. Flat out. If they want to find their way to that 50-win mark this season. And that's going to guarantee, I feel, at that point, you get to 50 wins, I think you're probably going to end up top 4. I hope. Because Memphis is falling down right now. That's the team that you go ahead and get past, and you can have home court against them in the first round of the playoffs. That would be great. Let's get to our players of the game tonight. Yeah, I said players. I'll tell you why. It's players next. Who's in your support system? We all need people to lean on, whether it's friends, family, mentors, or professionals. Even the strongest leaders and athletes know that asking for help makes them better. Therapy is one of the best ways to build a strong support system. It's not just for tough times. It helps with setting boundaries, developing coping skills, and becoming the best version of yourself. You can, of course, always, go out there and look for that firsthand how valuable it is to see how great support system is for you to keep you grounded and motivated, whatever it is that you're looking to do in your life today. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. And one more message before we get back to our Rockets discussion tonight after the win over the Pelicans. Right now, I want to tell you about FanDuel. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on that than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. You're going to absolutely love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether you're backing your team for a late game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch three, you're never going to feel like you missed your chance. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Who doesn't love that? Right now, the new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Locked On Rockets Postcast tonight after the Rockets get the win over the New Orleans Pelicans. Sure, it wasn't pretty. Sure, it wasn't unbelievable. But you know what? At the end of the night, the win is all that matters, and it's the first of two that they need against this very bad New Orleans squad between now and the end of this week. And they'll play this team again Saturday night in Houston, I should say. They were in New Orleans tonight. In Houston, back at the Toyota Center. 6 o'clock tip Saturday night for that one. And then they will, actually, they shouldn't say. They're staying home for a while. That is a 6-game homestand. It's good. Hopefully they'll cook at home. Right now, of course, we need to talk about these guys.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It's players of the game tonight. Sure, I could give it to the guy that I talked a lot about in the first segment, but honestly, and you could probably include a couple of others, but I'm going to give it to the three guys that hit the 20-point mark in the game tonight. Amin Thompson, Alperen Sengun, and Tari Eason. Look, Rockets offensively, it wasn't unbelievable tonight. 109 points. They turned the ball over 19 times. That's not very good. But they did shoot pretty well from the field. Not so great from three. 57% from the field, 31 from three. But Amin Thompson with his 21 and 11, Alperen Sengun with 22, 8, and 6 was fantastic. Only missed 3 shots on the night. And then Tari Eason with 20 points on 7 of 14 with 2 rebounds, 4 assists on the night. He did turn the ball. Oh, and 5 steals, but he also turned the ball over 5 times. But still, those 3 guys to me tonight deserve the try honors of who is the players of the game, not just the player of the game. They needed that from those guys tonight because, well, again, the rest of the team, there wasn't a ton to write home about. You had good night out of Dylan Brooks. You had a solid night as well out of Jabari Smith off of the bench. He was really good off the bench. And outside of that, not a whole lot to write home about, including Jalen Green, who had just 9 points in the game. As I mentioned a moment ago, the Rockets will be back in action Saturday night at home at the Toyota Center, taking on the New Orleans Pelicans once again. It should be a win if they're taking care of their business. I can tell you this, when that game wraps up, like every game, we will be here with you live on the Locked On Rockets Postcast. I greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Make sure that you do that. Make sure that you go listen to this show in the Locked On Rockets audio feed as well. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Thursday night. We will talk again Saturday night following Rockets and the New Orleans Pelicans on the Locked On Rockets Postcast.